All right, let's jump right in. We're looking at late 2025, and the whole conversation around AI, it's completely different now. This isn't some far-off sci-fi promise anymore. It's here, it's messy, and it's creating these massive opportunities, but also some brand new battle lines are being drawn right as we speak.
So if you really want to get a handle on where all this is headed, you have to look at the front lines. Because right now, the future of AI is being hammered out on four key battlegrounds. And trust me, what happens on these fronts, it's going to define, well, pretty much everything. Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to cover the big AGI scaling debate, then look at how AI is showing up as your new coworker. From there, we'll dive into agents actually going to market, and we'll finish up with the huge fight over the rules of the game. All right, first friend, and this is the big one, folks. We're not just talking about smarter chatbots here. No, this is the massive, high-stakes race, part philosophy, part economics, to build what some people are calling a godlike AI. We're talking about AGI. And leading the charge, you've got this dominant perspective from Demis Hassabis at Google DeepMind. His philosophy? Simple. Go big or go home. He's absolutely convinced that the main path to AGI is just to keep scaling up, building bigger and bigger models. For him, scale is everything. But here's the thing. Not everyone is buying it. Not by a long shot. The whole field is basically splitting into three different tribes. So you've got the scale-first crew, like DeepMind, just pushing for bigger models. Then you've got people like Yann LeCun over at Meta saying, whoa, hold on, scaling isn't enough. He's arguing that AI needs a real understanding of the physical world. Cause and effect, how things actually work. He calls them world models. And then you have the third camp, the pragmatists. Think AWS. They're basically saying, forget this godlike AGI stuff for now. Let's just build useful worker bee agents that actually make money today. And then comes the cold water. IBM's CEO is looking at all this and is, well, let's just say he's not impressed. He estimates the chance that our current way of doing things, just scaling up, will lead to true AGIs somewhere between 0 and 1%. Yeah, you heard that right. And his reasoning, it all boils down to money. And this number right here just puts it all into perspective. We're talking about $8 trillion. That's the potential cost globally for all the data center power we would need to really chase that scaling dream. It's just a staggering amount of money, not to mention energy. It really makes you stop and ask, is this even possible? Is it sustainable? So why does any of this high-level debate matter to you? Well, it's a huge deal. The industry is literally splitting in two. You have the AGI dreamers and the practical agent builders. And the insane cost of money and power is starting to dictate what's even possible at the cutting edge. The likely outcome here? It's probably not going to be one side winning. It's going to be some kind of hybrid. Big, powerful models that also have that world model common sense built in. Okay, that brings us to our second front. Let's bring things down from the clouds of AGI and get right into the trenches of the daily grind, because this is where agentic AI is starting to reinvent how we all work. And the first big impact is being felt by developers. So for the longest time, if you were a developer, your AI coding assistant was kind of a solo tool, right? It lived inside your personal coding software. Well, that's all changing. Now Anthropic has put its Claude Code agent right inside Slack. Think about that. The AI has left the private workshop and walked on to the factory floor. It's not just your personal tool anymore. It's a team member sitting in on every conversation. And check out how this completely changes the workflow. It's pretty amazing. A developer is just chatting in Slack, mentions a bug, and tags Claude. The AI just picks it up, it figures out what needs to be done, goes and gets the context from the code repositories, starts working on a fix, and get this, it posts progress updates right back into the chat. Then when it's done, it just serves up a pull request, all ready for a human to give the final okay. The whole thing, start to finish, never leaves the conversation. Now, this is a double-edged sword, for sure. The upside is incredible. You're talking about dramatically faster fixes and way less time spent switching between different apps. But the downside is just as big. I mean, you're now giving an AI access to your crown jewels, your code, through a chat app. That is a huge security risk. And you're also creating a brand new dependency. What happens if the model goes down? What about who owns the IP? These are brand new, very real problems. And that brings us perfectly to front number 3, because it's not just about developers anymore. These AI agents are breaking out of the lab and going to market. We're talking about AI in the wild, talking to your customers, driving sales, and yeah, creating a whole new world of risk. And I want to be clear, this is not theoretical stuff. This is happening right now, out in the real world. In the UK, there's an AI agent called Bobby that's literally triaging non-emergency police calls. In retail, Pandora's Gemma agent is personalizing the shopping experience so well it's boosted customer sat scores by more than 10 points. Even LIV Golf is using an agent to feed its commentators stats in real time. It's everywhere. And if you look at the data, you can see why this is becoming table stakes, especially for retailers. Overall, you've got a pretty solid 38% of all shoppers using AI. But here's the number you really need to pay attention to. Gen Z, 61%. A huge majority of younger shoppers are already using AI to help them buy things. This isn't just some cool new feature anymore. For this demographic, it's fast becoming the standard way to shop. And it's not all just business and triage, right? There's some really fun, creative stuff happening too. Take 11 Labs. They launched a real-time AI Santa. Kids could actually have a personalized voice conversation with Santa Claus. It's an amazing kind of magical marketing idea. But that same magic has a dark side. And that dark side is all about risk. That same technology that can create a fun AI Santa can also perfectly clone anyone's voice. And you better believe the insurance industry is paying attention. They are already looking at ways to exclude or limit coverage for risks caused by AI. Why? Because the potential for deepfake fraud, for scams, for massive reputational damage, it's just off the charts. Which, of course, leads us right into our fourth and final front, the big, messy, urgent fight to actually write the rules for all this stuff. It's like the Wild West fight now, and everyone is scrambling to answer the big questions. Who's in control here? How do we keep this technology safe? And what are the new legal lines in the sand? And in the US, you can really see this fight playing out in a regulatory tug-of-war. You've got two totally different ideas clashing. On one side, there's a push for a single federal rulebook. The thinking is, let's have one set of rules so we can move fast and stay competitive. But then you have states, especially California, going in the complete opposite direction. They're demanding transparency, passing laws that will force AI companies to open up their books and show exactly what training data they're using. So it's speed versus transparency, and right now they're heading straight for each other. Meanwhile, while the lawyers and politicians argue, there's this huge, gaping hole in security. I mean, look at this. This is kind of scary. A recent report found that nearly 80%, 7-9, of companies using these AI agents admit they don't have full visibility into what the agents are doing. Let that sink in. They have unleashed these powerful tools inside their companies and have no real idea what's going on. They are completely flying blind. And guess what? This flying blind approach is already blowing up in court. We're seeing major lawsuits, like the New York Times going after Perplexity AI. The accusation is that Perplexity was just hoovering up their content without permission, and worse, sometimes just making stuff up and pretending it came from the Times. This isn't just another lawsuit. This is a landmark case that could define the future of copyright and intellectual property for everyone. So that's the landscape of AI as we see it in late 2025. It's these four massive interconnected fronts. You got the huge philosophical race for AGI hitting a wall of economic reality. You have the total reinvention of how we work, side by side with AI. There's a brand new battle for customers happening in the open market, and underpinning it all is this desperate scramble to put some rules and guardrails in place before this whole thing gets away from us. And really, it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. This new wave of AI autonomy, it's a force multiplier. It takes whatever we point it at and makes it bigger, faster, more powerful. It can amplify our greatest achievements, our creativity, our progress, but it can just as easily amplify our worst mistakes, our biases, our failures, and with incredible speed. So the question for all of us is, what are we going to choose to point it at?